every thread sun binding love and fabric where we belong.
Hello everybody, happy Friday. Today is bittersweet because it's the last 2 blocks of the butterfly pixel quilt, but with it being bittersweet, it's also exciting because we get to start to see the whole picture of the butterfly. Hi everybody, it's so great. Thanks for hanging out with me live today, and if you're watching on the replay, I would love it if you jump down to the comment section and tell me where you're watching from. That would be awesome. So down in the description box is the link for the last 2 blocks of the butterfly pixel quilt. Have you had fun with this project? I started off hesitant in doing this project, but like after week 2, I have loved every single minute of it. Hi everybody. So great to have you hanging out with us today. So today I'm going to just show you these blocks. We're going to go over the colors, and then we're going to hang out and I'm going to do a show and tell of everybody else's blocks, everyone who shared pictures over on the creative crew. I don't think I'm going to be putting any blocks of fabric down. Matter of fact, I've already done my block 15 and it's glued in place. It's actually drying right here on my desk, so we'll take a look at it. Yeah, and so all I have left to do is glue down my fabric squares for block 16, fuse these blocks, sew them up, and join them to the previous blocks. Hello everybody, it has been a week here. In my county, they've been flying helicopters with great big saws and cutting trees along the power lines, which means intermittent, about an hour long each time maybe, no power. And who knows when it's going to happen? So if I lose you today, that's why. But I think they're done. I think they finished up yesterday or day before yesterday in the afternoon. I lose track of the days now. Hi, everybody. So it put me a little behind, and I wanted to go live Wednesday evening to do the paper pieced version of the Nana bag. There we go. This one I made from fabrics that Wanda sent me. Isn't that so pretty? Big pocket on the back, 2 pockets on the front. I guess this could be the back if you wanted it to be. That could be the front if you wanted it to be. But yeah, we're going to do the paper pieced version tomorrow night live here on my YouTube channel. So if you don't have any plans for tomorrow night, maybe you can come and hang out with me. Will you cover quilting of the block? I'm not sure, Kay. Because to be really honest, I'm not sure when I'm going to get around to quilting this thing. I have a couple quilts ahead of it that I need to get quilted. I still have the compass quilt to quilt and the bunny quilt to quilt. And I need to put a binding on an art quilt that we did in Patreon. And I need to put a binding on a Christmas quilt from a couple years ago. And then I'm quilting this. I will, however, have this whole quilt top completed by next Friday. But I think I'm going to echo the ditches. Do you know what I'm saying? A straight line quilting, echoing the ditch on either side. Don't hold me to that. I'm not sure. Hello, everybody. MZ, I just want to say a huge thank you as we get started today for helping moderate the chat. I'm not really sure about my quilting yet, and that's just me being really honest with you. I'm not sure, and it's going to be a little minute before I even get to it. So let's come down to my desk, y'all. I'm going to show you. I have block 15 all glued into its spaces. It might even still be wet because I did it a little while ago. And I like to let it dry right here on the grid. It's still pinned to the grid before I lift this up. And so my little squares don't fall off, right? But it's just drying. And then I have block 16 to glue down. So these are the last two blocks. Pardon me. I'm having horrible sinuses this week, y'all. Cheryl said, yes, I would like that. About what time again for tomorrow night? 8. I think I put it at 8:30. There is already a video thumbnail here on my YouTube channel that you can check out. And I wasn't even on the screen, y'all. There's already a video thumbnail here on my YouTube channel that you can go and set a reminder for. I think it's at 8 or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Susan says, I have put rolls 1 and 2 together. Oh no, you had to break out the seam ripper for blocks 9 and 10, Susan. Oh no. Teresa says, I have a background butterfly quilting design that you do on the embroidery machine. I was considering doing that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I bet that would be really pretty. You know what? I have not quilted a quilt on my embroidery machine. I've wanted to, and I tried. I made a compass quilt, and I tried quilting it, sorry, on my embroidery machine, but I was not really happy with it. It was probably because of the quilting designs. I was trying to fit really specific designs in certain places, and I was not lining them up correctly, and you could see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to put it on mute. Gloria, I haven't talked all day, and so it's showing for sure. Not sure what thread color to use. I was thinking a medium gray, hoping it would blend in. I think you're right. I think a medium gray would blend in with most everything and just sort of disappear. Do you know what I'm saying? So week 15, we have some blues, dark blues, some blacks, greens, and a few pops of red. I wanted to show you this area right here. And when you're looking at it, it kind of looks brownish to me. I just used a black. But if you're wondering what these are right there, I was trying to figure that out too. They kind of look brown. But I just used a black. See that? And then over here, we're back to a predominantly green block with one dark blue square right there. And then these, I would say, are a black fabric, right? And then the rest of the block is green. And this is going to be the very bottom right corner, right? Right under the butterfly, right there. So just this little tip is catching the bottom part of the butterfly right there. Anyway, I'm super pleased with how this quilt is turning out. I have rows 1, 2, and 3 all put together. The last row, the blocks from last week, I have made and put together. So it's waiting for these 2 blocks to be made, and so I can finish that last row and join it to my quilt. Daniel was thinking about using a butterfly quilting design too. Daniel, are you digitizing it yourself, or where are y'all getting y'all's butterfly designs from? I would like to check them out. Hi, everybody. It's so great to see you. So this is it. I mean, what do y'all think? Honestly, have you loved the process, or did you start the quilt excited and now you're like, I'm kind of over it? Have you started the quilt and dropped it and walked away and not come back? Or are you at this point and you're like, I can't wait to do something else that's like this? I feel like we're all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You're going to digitize it yourself. Well, I am super excited to see that. Chrissy got hers from Designs by Juju. Awesome. So did Teresa. That's awesome. I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see. So this week, y'all, nothing earth shattering. We know what to do with these pieces and we know how to put them together. And I'm going to just wish y'all the most fun ever. And one of the things that I like to do periodically, time to time, is show and tells because I like to show off your stuff. Kim has enjoyed it and is looking for other patterns. That's awesome. Selma says I adapted it to a much smaller one. No butterfly, but it worked for her project. Yay. That must be the picture that you sent me. Was it yesterday? You sent me a picture, Selma? That must be what you were doing. My favorite blocks so far have been the ones with the light blue pops and the dark blues and blacks around it. For some reason, that just is so pretty to me. So any blocks that have that light blue pop and proceeds to dark have been my favorite ones to do. Donna says, do you think your long arm will have any trouble quilting through so many seams? I'm going to tell you, all long arms are different, Donna. I have no worries that my long arm will have a problem with this quilt and the seams in it. And I have a Nolting Pro Series 24. It uses a wide range of needles, but they're all really heavy duty needles. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's sort of an industrial machine. And I know she would quilt through all of the seams perfectly fine. I was just thinking that I probably will not quilt it on the long arm. But I may. I don't know. I was kind of thinking just straight line quilting with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Chrissy says, I love the whole process of this after I got my process down pat. Yay! That's awesome. Kay says, I had to pause. She finished rows 1 and 2, but we'll pick it up this week again. Excited to get it finished. That's awesome, Kay. So what we're going to do, let's come back here for a minute, is I'm going to share my screen. So it's going to look a little crazy for a minute, but I'm really excited to show you the progress of many others. And the last time I looked, there were actually 2 quilts that were all filled in. So y'all must have got busy since, what day did I put this out? Yesterday? Y'all just went to town. So let's come here for a minute. We're going to pop on over to the Creative Crew on Facebook. And I'm going to give it a second just to make sure that it's showing what I need it to show on the screen. Okay, yep, I'm down here in the corner. So we're going to go to my post. Here it is at the very top. And actually, I want to refresh this just in case anybody posted since the last time I was there. And we're going to click on comments. Oops, comments. And all comments. All right, so what I'm going to do is just actually click on the picture so you can see all the details. But this is Kim, and Kim says, this has been so much fun. Yeah, I like blowing the picture up on the screen like that because you can see everything. Doesn't that look so pretty? That is so cool. I even like on my phone will blow up the picture and search for fabrics that I have also used. And oftentimes I will find fabrics that I've used in my butterfly quilt. It's kind of like a hide and seek game, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't that look so pretty? So glad you're having fun with this, Kim. That is awesome. Oh, look, Kim has some orangish, brownish fabrics right to the left, right there. If I had those fabrics, Kim, those are the ones that I would use on block 15. The 3 blocks that go around one of those red, that's what I would use. That's kind of what the picture looks like. If you look at the paper or the PDF, that's what it kind of looks like. That's awesome. This is Karen's. Karen says, our time has almost come to an end. This has been really fun to do. Karen, I am so glad that you pushed through and you've gotten down to the end. I was a little nervous that you might just throw in the towel at the very beginning while we were Zooming. But you pushed through, and I'm so glad you did. Look at this. Isn't that fantastic? I just want to make sure I can see all of my messages. That is awesome. Oh, look, she has a couple pops of yellow in her butterfly. I really like that. That's cool. I am excited that you have made it this far, Karen, and I'm so glad that you think that this has been a fun quilt. Here is Daniel's, and Daniel says, I can't wait to finish this up and start another. Daniel, have you picked out a design that you're going to be working on next? Look at that, y'all. Isn't that so much fun? Now, if you could see the back of Daniel's quilt, you would find out that all his seams are pressed open. Very nice and pretty. And I absolutely love the front. That is so cool. And one thing that you notice from quilt to quilt to quilt, we've all used different fabrics, right? But you see the definition above the butterfly in the greenery area? That is there in every single one of the photos. And that is so cool to me. That is just like really cool. I mean, we've all kind of assigned different fabrics to the different hues, right? And we've had very lenient creative liberties with this whole thing. But yet the definition of the shading and the shrubs or the bushes behind the butterfly, it's there every single time. And I just think that's really cool. All right, Daniel, you have 2 more blocks left to do. Deidre has hers all finished. She must have went to town last night and this morning. Deidre says, I was keen to finishing this one. Never attempted a pixel quilt before, and I'm really pleased with the result. Thank you, Lisa, for the easy to follow pattern. I might try to do some end-to-end quilting on my embroidery machine on this, as it's a manageable size. I am thinking that seems to be the trend, is what I'm hearing. Maybe I'll give it a try with this quilt. I hadn't thought about it too much, but maybe I will. So Deidre has her whole quilt top done. She's been busy since yesterday. Doesn't it look fantastic? Yeah, Steffi says, maybe I'll do the one time the butterfly pixel quilt, but she is working on a pattern of a pixel quilt of her and her husband, and she sent me a picture of it, and that is going to be super cool. So I hope that you really do that, Steffi. Deidre, I love it. It looks fantastic. See, I see some, they look brown in the photo. I don't know if you can see my mouse moving. It looks a little brown here, 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 and right here. That's what I'm thinking is showing on week number 15. Oh yeah, that's where you used it. That is week number 15 right there. Okay, so that's what it would be like. Awesome job. I love it. And then Patsy must have went straight to town and went straight to work too. She says, it's done. Not perfect, but I love it. Thank you, Lisa. I love it too, Patsy. I really do. And y'all see what I'm saying? The definition, the bright highlights and the dark shadows above the butterfly, below the butterfly, all that is showing up in every single one of the quilts. How cool is that? Yeah, Davy says they are all so beautiful. I agree. What are you going to do for the sides? I do not plan on putting borders on my butterfly pixel quilt. I'm just letting it stand the way it is. But you could certainly add a border to sort of frame this in if you wanted to. Y'all have done so good with this. I mean, overall, and I just want to thank everybody for who has shared. I think that was the last one for today. Y'all have done so good with this. I mean, in general, I'd give you some instructions, right? Cut 1.5-inch squares, use these basic colors. I would use a dark, a medium, and a light for each one of the colors. And creative liberties to just go in and determine. And y'all have done so good at placing the different hues of fabric. And really that's what this quilt was all about too, was playing with the fabric, seeing the differences in the colors. You got 2 green fabrics. How are they different? How do they work side by side? Do they not work together? Do they not work together, but in a project like this, it still works? You know, just playing with the colors and the hues. Steffi said, Mimsy, are you in Creative Crew? She is. Her name on Creative Crew is Selma. So you've probably seen her post, but she doesn't go by Mimsy on Creative Crew. So yeah, and quilting it with the embroidery machine. I'm half tempted to start looking at some designs and contemplating it. either way, I know it's going to be a little bit before I get to quilting this. I came across a bin that had some projects in it that I had totally forgotten about, but I would like to include into the studio tour. And so those are almost finished. I have like a binding or quilt and bind. I'd like to wrap those up and then I can quilt this. Do you know what I'm saying? Daniel said, this took me way out of my comfort zone as far as choosing my own colors, but I'm so glad you did. Do you know, and here, please do not take anything I'm about to say as criticism or me passing judgment, but so many times we buy kits that the fabrics are in there. They've already been pre-selected for us for the patterns that we're making, right? We didn't have to do any work selecting fabrics and putting them together for the quilt to look fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Or we go buy pre-cuts, fat quarter bundles, charm packs, and all the fabrics coordinate with each other and they just work. And so that part of the quilt making process is done for us and our quilts look fantastic. So we don't develop the skill of picking our own fabrics and working with the different colors and patterns on the fabric, stripes, solids, batiks, you know. And so a lot of the times we don't develop skills of actually working with fabrics that were not chosen for us. Yes, it's fantastic to go buy a kit. It really is. But little exercises like this help us develop that skill. Do you know what I'm saying? And then we could walk into any quilt store and not be so dependent on finding curated fabric that's already been put together for us. Chrissy's learned so much with the hues. Yay! Oh, y'all see Dolly? She is sound asleep. What was the name of the quilting program you used to design the quilt? Kim, it's called EQ8. Teresa asked, what's our next project? I have not figured that out yet. Someone said, kits are too pricey for me. I will tell you, sometimes a kit is so worth the money. And sometimes I'm a super tightwad and I'm like, nope, I'll just pick stuff and make it work. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like 50-50 on the kits. Have you ever designed a collage quilt? I've always wanted to try one. Collage quilt. What do you mean, Teresa? Collage quilt. Can you go into a little bit more detail about the collage quilt? Will this be the end of Fridays or do you plan a new project for Friday? So my plan is, because not everybody could just jump in and finish these 2 blocks, to post a finished quilt top for the butterfly pixel quilt show and tell for today. Do you know what I'm saying? So next Friday we're going to meet. We're just going to be hanging out. I'm hoping to have my quilt top done and I can show that to you. And we're also going to do one more show and tell for the butterfly pixel quilt. There will be a post on Creative Crew. And if you finish your quilt top, we so want to see it. And even if you're behind or you're just now starting, we want to see your progress. I always want to say process. We want to see what you've done. So we're going to do one more show and tell, and that'll be next Friday. And then the Friday after that, I don't know what we're doing yet. It might just be that we come and we do some just hangout lives, Q&As, you know, on the spot if you want me to show you EQ8. If you have a digitizing question, stuff like that until I figure out another project, because I have just been so slammed that I don't have another project lined up immediately yet. So, Donna says it also helps us as we have the new kit and we like one of the colors from our new stash. Yes. For example, would you do a rooster and lay down? Okay. I see what you mean by a collage quilt. Like one great big shape, but that shape is made up of different fabrics, right? I think that that's what you're asking about. Trying to think back, I don't know that I've done any quilts exactly like that. I think that sounds fun. I've seen mini quilts like that. They do look like they're a lot of fun. I'm almost kind of thinking, starting to lean into Christmas stuff, but I'm really just not in the mood. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm too hot to start thinking about Christmas stuff. Although now's really time to start making that stuff if you want to have it for Christmas time. You know what I'm saying? But I just have not been in the mood for Christmas stuff, y'all. Thread painting. All right, let me grab a piece of paper because y'all throwing out some good ideas. What is this I can write on? Okay. All right, so I will start a little list of future projects or ideas. A collage quilt. A thread painting. Anybody else have any ideas I can write down? Tracy says, hi, Lisa, I've been lurking. You did something similar to a collage with your, the arch art quilt hanging. That is kind of like a collage quilt a little bit. That is. So Teresa, if you go on my channel and you search in the search bar garden archway, an art quilt is going to pop up. To me, it's kind of like a mosaic kind of quilt, but it might give you the feeling of a collage quilt. It's a little bit different, but along those lines. Not exactly what you're referring to, but super cool quilt. A cathedral quilt. Well, Miss Kim, I have a workshop on a cathedral quilt if you want to join Patreon. There's already a workshop over there on that. Cathedral quilts. I do have a cathedral Christmas ornament here on YouTube. And you'd find it if you said Lisa Capen cathedral Christmas ornament. I bet you it'd pop up. But if you took that block and you used the same process and you didn't just make it into a Christmas ornament, you could make a quilt just like that. Okay, yes, I am definitely looking into the embroillance classes again. Here's what happened. The more I studied it, the more evidently you cannot, or it's against Etsy policy to host listings for tutoring type services. And I was not aware of that. And I'm always one who likes to linger on the safe side and not get in trouble. So I stopped doing the classes through Etsy because I don't want to get in trouble, you know? And when I do a deeper search into what they mean by tutoring services, it kind of falls in line with Zoom class teaching. And so I've been hesitant not to list more classes on Etsy because of that. So I've looked at building my own website, and I spent 2 whole days trying to do that, and I gave up on that. And then I looked at I could sell it directly through PayPal, but how do I send links? So I think the best thing to do, and what I've decided as of yesterday actually, is to make a post on Patreon. And you could purchase the class right on Patreon, and all your downloads would be right there, including the link for the Zoom. So as of yesterday, that's pretty much what I've decided to do. I just have not picked out days for the classes yet. But I've been in this big conundrum of where can I've searched all these e-commerce stores, and I don't want an e-commerce store. So that's why I have not been hosting the classes, but as of yesterday, I decided that I'm just going to post them through Patreon. Steffi said there are lots of videos here on YouTube from not just me, some really awesome creators, teachers, YouTube University. But I was just looking, I have 748 or 68 videos on YouTube. That's crazy to me. And I've slowed down in the last year or so. You know what I'm saying? Tracy said, Lisa has so many videos and ideas it will send you down a rabbit hole for days. Yes. So, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, or you just found me, but you sort of just scrolled through, you're going to see I'm kind of like the ADD creator, right? I get super hyper fixated on one thing, and then as soon as I'm done with it, I'm doing something totally completely different. And that's just my personality, you know? So there's not like a theme to what I create. This week it's a butterfly. Next week it might be something random. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with butterflies or animals or nothing. How you know a post is, if you follow me on Facebook, I'll make a post about it, and I'll post a link to the class. And when I have a class up, the next time I'm live on YouTube, I will mention the class and put a link in the description box so you can find it easy. And if you are a member on Patreon, either a free member or a paid member, you might have noticed you get notifications when I post either free content or stuff for the paid members, right? You might get a notification when I post the class. I'm not sure. But yes, I plan on doing the fonts, the basics of Embrilliance, and I've also been working on a freestanding lace class. And there's also a quilt label class that I've already taught before. Yeah. But that's why I haven't been posting classes, because I don't want to get in trouble. And after I saw that, And I forgot where I saw it. I think I was listening to a YouTube video of someone talking about new Etsy policies, and the policies had changed on some stuff, and some stuff they haven't changed, and they were going over the things that have recently been changed. And they were reading verbatim from the website, and they got to the services part, and they were talking about tutoring, and I was like, well, that's kind of what my classes are. And then I started reading it, and I was like, oh no, I think I've been breaking the rules. So that's why. Josie from Italy. Hi, so great to see you. Deborah says, love your videos. I started watching about 5 years ago, and I have done some projects you posted from before that. Yay. That's awesome. I'll tell you, some projects from years ago that I wouldn't mind revisiting would be the stained glass mystery quilt. It ended up being like a tulip flower. I wouldn't mind revisiting that kind of quilt again. I wouldn't mind doing another pixel quilt again. Um, what's another one that we've done? I really want to paint on some fabric. Now, that's not everybody's jam, but that's what I've really been in the mood to do. And we've done that several times here on my channel too. And I'm kind of in the mood for that, y'all. That's what I've really been wanting to do. Nope, I have not heard from Hazel Mincy. You know what? I'm going to reach out to her this weekend. I just wrote it down. I do know that her sleep schedule is off, and I'm hoping that that's the reason. Like, she's sleeping while we're live. Um, Josie's been painting fabric for the last 2 days. What are you painting, Josie? What are you doing? Golly, Elizabeth, you waking up, girl? Yes, painting on fabric. Okay, so y'all want to paint on fabric? Deborah said, my favorite was the hummingbird mosaic. Wasn't that fun? I still have to finish my stained glass quilt project. Beverly said, I'm thankful for all you do for us. So glad I found your show years ago and still follow. Me too, Beverly. We have met some great people through the channel. We really have. And I will tell you, it's quite a fellowship. And I consider it a second family over on Creative Crew on Facebook. And it's always fun to see what y'all are doing. Daniel said, painting sounds interesting. Break out your, well, I'm not even going to say fabric paints because I probably won't use fabric paints. I'll probably use acrylic paints with a fabric medium. That's what I've been in the mood to do. Dyeing acrylics. I do different ways of dyeing. I would love to see what you're doing if you want to post pictures on Creative Crew. Now you've got my curiosity spiked. There are so many projects you've done over the years that inspire me all the time to do different things. That's my goal. That's my goal. I really want you to try some stuff you haven't tried before. Do techniques that you've been too nervous to do. break down things that you think are too complicated to even try, you can do these things. And maybe just doing them a different way will help it click. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, I don't do things always the correct way. Take case in point, my Nana bag. I'm a wannabe bag maker, right? And I can digitize and make that bag in the embroidery hoop, but making that bag on a regular sewing machine, I can't wrap my head around it. I could do one zipper on one side, but as soon as you add that second zipper down below, I cannot fathom how to do that unless we paper piece it, and then I can do it. And so, that's not your traditional way of making a bag with zippers in it, but that's how I'm doing it, and it turns out fantastic. So that's my goal, is just to break things down, maybe think of things from a different way of looking at it and make it click. Donna says, yes, 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 Lisa. Yay. Non-quilt question. Can I use the Fleshman's Active Dry Yeast in your hook? Yes. Yes. That's what I would use if I didn't have the other one. That would work exactly the same. And then let me know what you think about them. My dad's going to make hoagie rolls for the first time tomorrow, so I'm excited to see how they turn out for him. Donna says, I have tried posting my butterfly on Creative Crew for the show and tell, and mine doesn't get picked up for the live show and tell. What am I doing wrong? It's hard to know what's happening unless I actually see what you're doing. Hold on a second, Donna. I thought we saw yours, but maybe we didn't. I'm just going to scroll over to Creative Crew real second. Hold on a second. Oops. I'm in the wrong place. So there is a post in the featured section. Okay. Hold on a second. I am on the wrong page. Oh, Creative Crew. If you're doing it from your phone, I can see it's a little tricky and hard to find, isn't it? Hold on a second. I see your post on the regular page. I thought it was in the show and tell. Hold on a second. Yep, no, it's not in the show and tell. So are you posting from your phone? Because I can see on my phone the featured section is hard to find. But if you scroll down several posts, you'll see my post of my quilt. Like I see your post, and then I had to scroll down a few more posts, and then like I just saw Kim's quilt, and then there's my post right there. You have to click on that and then hit comment, and you can add a picture there. So for next week, that's how you would do it. On a computer, I can find the featured section much easier. Josie, if you're on Facebook, not everybody's on Facebook, but if you're on Facebook, open the description box of this video and scroll through all the stuff, and it'll say join me on the creative crew or something like that. And you click on that, and then there's 2 security questions that you ask, real simple questions, and then you're there. So yeah, this week has been nuts because you just be working, 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 and poof, the power is out. And several times I've been on the computer, and then I was like, that's a waste of time because you lose everything that you were working on, right? And plus, I don't like my computer just all of a sudden power go out. We do have a house generator, but it takes it a minute for it to like be like, oh, the power's out. I will turn on now. And then while the generator's running, it's sort of like little power surges. So I don't like anything on when the generator's on. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's been several days this week. And that's been my week. All right, y'all. I am off. I hope you have so much fun with this. How many hours are there in your day? Here's my thing, and a lot of people ask me that, like, how do you get so much done? I am fantastic at multitasking. I can have, uh, well, I say 4 things going that I can really focus on well, more than that, and then it starts to get stressful. But I'm really good at multitasking and time management. And I'm a little bit of a workaholic. But the good news is, this month, the very last week of the month, I'm taking vacation. Uh, and I'm gonna stick to it. I wanted to do a staycation this year, um, and so that we could go fishing if the weather's good, like every day, or a part of every day. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, so even though I'm a workaholic, I'm making myself do this. And I think that's important. Steffi, you got the pattern for the Nana bag. Okay, good. I hope you're there. I know it's going to be late for you. And I thought about that when I set the time. But tomorrow I have pears to preserve and a couple other things to do. So it's going to be a busy day. So take a nap and then I'll see you in the evening if you want to be there for the live, or you can watch the replay whenever it's good for you. No camping, not yet. We're just gonna try to stay home and go fishing and relax. All right, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic week. Feel free to share your progress on Creative Crew from now until next week. And I would love it if you were to post in the show and tell for next week. That's like one of the things that I love to do is to brag on all of y'all's work. Like, to me, that's what all of this, it makes it worth it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, y'all have a fantastic week. And I will see y'all tomorrow night. Even if you're not making the bag, come and hang out. Okay? Bye, everybody.
In the quiet of the evening light, with needles dancing, stitching inside each patch a story. Every thread unbinding love and fabric where we belong. Every stitch a whispered prayer. every corner I find.